Now we will continue with the last topic, that is pre-fertilization events. In that we discussed already that how gametes are formed. So gametogenesis process. And now we will start with the gamete transfer. So in the pre-fertilization events, the next one, how the gametes, once the gametes are formed in the organisms, how these gametes are transferred. Why should these gametes has to be transferred? Mean gamete transfer. First of all, these gametes are, if the gametes are formed in different organisms or different individuals like male and female, so these must be joined, or these must be fused with each other. Then only the fertilization takes place. How these gametes are transferred from the individual to individual, or there is any medium to transfer the gametes. So here, and we know that in there are different types of organisms are there, like unisexual animals and bisexual animals. So in unisexual animals, the gametes are formed in different individuals, and in bisexual, the gametes are formed in the same animal, and then even same plant or flower. Then, if the gametes are formed in different individuals, most of the organisms, the male gamete is motile. So already we discussed that. In majority of the organisms, male gamete is motile and female gamete is non-motile. Non-motile or stationary. It cannot move. It is stay in the female organism only. So in these cases, the male gamete is transferred into the female body because female body cannot move. So that's why into the female gamete, this male gamete has to be transferred. So there is a specific mechanisms how the gamete, male gamete is transferred to the female gamete. And in some cases, like in some algae, both male and female gametes are motile. Both the male and female gametes are motile. So in such cases, both the gametes are comes together and they fuse. The fertilization takes place. But in in some algae, some other algae, in fungi, bryophytes and pteridophytes. So especially bryophytes and pteridophytes. So in these cases, water is the medium to transfer the male gamete. So through water, the male gamete is transferred to the female gamete. And in majority of the animals, especially the higher animals like mammals, reptiles, birds, amphibians, or in some aquatic organisms, the motile male gamete is transferred to the female gamete through sexual contact. So it takes place in the majority of the organisms. And in some aquatic amphibians and in fishes like bony fishes and amphibians. So in these amphibians and bony fishes, the male gamete and female gamete, they released into the water or released into the environment. So both male and female gametes. Male and female gametes, they released into the water, and in the water the fission takes place or the fertilization takes place. So offsprings are produced in the water, and this is the another type of gamete transfer. And in the majority of the animals like mammals, birds, reptiles and all, the gamete transfer takes place through sexual contact between the individuals or between the opposite sex like male and female. And this is the pre-fertilization events. One is the gametogenesis, how gametes are formed, and gamete transfer. So once the gametes are transferred, the next step is fertilization. That is our next event in this process. So that is fertilization. Fertilization is the fusion of gametes. It is a process of fusion of gametes. Process of fusion of gametes is called fertilization. Is also known as syngamy. Syngamy. Fusion of gametes is known as syngamy, or it is also commonly known as fertilization. And here, according to the basis of where the fertilization takes place, this fertilization is of two types. One is external fertilization. External fertilization and internal fertilization. So external fertilization. Fertilization takes place outside the body of the organism. So fertilization takes place outside of the body, outside the body of organism. Outside the body of organisms, if the fusion of gametes takes place, that process is called external fertilization. That means the fertilization takes place in the environment. Mostly it takes place in the aquatic animals. So here fertilization takes place in water. Example, so here we discussed that, see, bony fishes, amphibians, both male and female gametes are released into the water. So here both the gametes are present in the water, not inside the body of the organism. So here this fertilization takes place in bony fishes, amphibians and some other aquatic organisms. The fertilization takes place outside the body. So that is called external fertilization. And internal fertilization. Fertilization takes place inside the body of the organism. So fertilization takes place inside the body of female organism. So in the majority of the cases, or in almost all cases, the fertilization takes place in the female body. So example, majority of the higher plants like the gymnosperms, angiosperms, the fertilization takes place inside the flower. And in majority of the animals like reptiles, birds and mammals, the fertilization takes place inside the female body. So this type of fertilization is known as internal fertilization. So examples we can say that gymnosperms, angiosperms, and reptiles, birds and mammals. So this is the internal fertilization. So examples: gymnosperms, angiosperms, reptiles, birds and mammals. So in these cases, in the internal fertilization, almost in all cases, the male gamete is transferred to the female body. So to transfer this, there is a sexual mechanism to transfer these male gametes into the female gamete where the fertilization takes place. And in this, the animals, especially due to the internal fertilization, the animals produces the young ones inside the body or in some other cases outside the body after fertilization. But fertilization takes place inside the body, but after the fertilization they release, that means unfertilized eggs or fertilized eggs. On the basis of that, the animals are of three types. One is oviparous, viviparous, then ovoviviparous. Oviparous, viviparous and ovoviviparous. In oviparous animals, the animals release eggs. So internal fertilization, that means inside the body, the fertilization takes place and zygote is formed. And then after that zygote undergoes the cell divisions. At a particular stage of this cell division, that eggs are formed. So this is embryo is covered by a calcareous shell which is made up of, and we generally know that the bird's eggs. If you observe that the embryo is covered by that calcareous shell, and this is the protective shell of the embryo. And these type of eggs are released by the female bird or reptiles also in some cases. So this egg contains undeveloped embryo. So once the birds are released these eggs, then the remaining development of embryo takes place outside the body. And from that, after a particular period of time, the offspring is released out. And viviparous. So example here, reptiles and birds. Viviparous. Here no eggs are released, but directly young ones are formed. Young ones are produced by the animal, female animal or female organism. So completely developed embryo is delivered after certain period of the developing embryo time period. Then the young ones are released or delivered by the female organism. So such a type of animals are called viviparous animals. Example, mammals. And some fishes. So here some mammals like marsupials. Marsupials like a kangaroo. These animals delivered the non-completely developed embryo. So that embryo does not completely develop. So such type of animal, but it is young ones, not egg. So such type of animals are delivered by the marsupials, and then these young ones are protected by the pouch-like structure which is present in the abdomen of the marsupials. So if we observe the kangaroos, we can easily notice that. And ovoviviparous. Here eggs are formed in the body. Eggs are formed. And these eggs does not release by the animal, but these eggs are still inside the body of the female, and the developing of embryo takes place inside the body. That means inside the egg. This egg is present inside the body of the female. So after completely developing of the embryo, then these eggs are released out and the young ones are released from the eggs. So that is the difference between, if you observe that, difference between oviparous and ovoviviparous. Oviparous are eggs are formed inside the body and immediately that eggs are released out with undeveloped embryo, and outside the body the remaining development takes place. Ovoviviparous is eggs are formed inside the body and the development of the egg is also takes place inside the body. After completion of that embryo development, then the eggs are released and from that eggs directly young ones are produced. So these are different types of animals on the basis of how the embryo is developed. So this is the fertilization process. So fertilization is two types, external and internal. External fertilization, fusion of gametes takes place outside the body. Internal fertilization, fusion of gametes takes place inside the female body. And the third event of the sexual reproduction processes is post-fertilization events. Post-fertilization events. So here the events which takes place after the fertilization process are called post-fertilization events. So after the fertilization, that means after the zygote form or after the fusion of gametes takes place. So here again it contains two headings. One is zygote and another one is embryogenesis. So first we will discuss with the zygote. This zygote is formed by the fusion of two different gametes, male gamete and female gamete. So by the fusion of two different gametes. And we know that the gametes are haploid. So for example, we will take one which is a sperm, haploid, and female gamete, that is egg or ovum, and it is also a haploid gamete. By the fusion of these two, the zygote is formed. Zygote is formed. So haploid sperm, haploid ovum together form diploid zygote. So it is in diploid condition. So from this, and at the beginning of the zygote, it is a single cell. Every organism in the world, their life is started with the single cell. So that's why at the first stage of the formation of zygote, it is similar to that of the unicellular organisms, because unicellular organisms also consists of only single cell which performs all the activities. So here also same cases. Zygote is a single cell from which the entire organism is formed. So at this stage it is similar to that of the unicellular organisms. So here two different gametes which are haploid and together form diploid zygote. And now this zygote consists of two sets of chromosomes. One set of chromosome is from the male parent and another set of the chromosomes are from female parent. So here variations takes place because these chromosomes here 2n, that means n plus n. This n from male parent and this n from female parent. So here variations occurred. And now this zygote undergo mitotic cell divisions. So this zygote undergo mitotic cell divisions in majority of the cases. Why I am mentioning in majority of the cases, there are some plants with haploid life cycle. So in first PUC we learned that haploid life cycle or diplantic life cycle, haplodiplantic life cycle. So here in haplantic life cycle, the plant body is produced from the zygote. So that means plant body. So in haploid life cycle, plant body should be the haploid condition. That means N. In case of bryophytes, in some bryophytes, and zygote which is already in diploid condition. So here which type of cell division takes place means the meiotic cell division. Meiosis takes place because zygote is in diploid condition but the plant body is a haploid condition. So for this process the zygote some period of time it goes rest. To undergo meiotic division, it takes some rest, and during that period of the rest, this zygote is enveloped by a protective shield. So this is the zygote, and which is enveloped by or which is covered by the protective shield. And after certain period in favorable conditions, and the shield will degenerate and zygote undergo meiotic cell division to produce haploid plant body. So example for this is some bryophytes. And diplantic life cycle. In diplantic life cycle, zygote is from the plant body. So here the plant body is also diploid condition because it has diplantic life cycle. So here it is also 2n, and here mitotic cell division takes place. Mitotic cell division takes place through which same number of chromosomes are incorporated in the plant body. Example, most of the gymnosperms and angiosperms. And the third one is haplodiplantic life cycle. Haplodiplantic life cycle. So here the first zygote undergoes meiotic division, mitotic division to produce embryo, and then this same zygote undergo meiotic division to produce sporophyte. So embryo is in diploid condition, sporophyte is in haploid condition through which spores are formed. So this is the process of the zygote formation, and after the zygote formation, how this zygote undergo the different types of cell divisions. So once the cell divisions are completed, if it undergoes 8-celled stage or 32-celled stage, now cell differentiation takes place. So what is cell differentiation? After number of cells are formed, these cells are grouped according to their performance, means according to their structure and their function. What are the functions they have to be performed? On that basis, these cells, say for example, if there are hundreds of cells, these cells undergo the cell differentiation according to their functions, and this cell differentiation helps to formation of tissues, organs and entire organism. So that is cell differentiation. Cell division takes place. And in case of animals, all animals are having diploid body. Diploid body, that means all animals having the 2n number of chromosomes in their cells. So zygote, here mitotic cell division takes place, because all animals having diploid body or diploid condition of cells. So zygote here in case of animals, it undergoes mitotic cell division. So this is the zygote formation, how zygote is formed and how it undergoes the cell divisions and how it undergoes the cell differentiation. And the next process is embryogenesis. Embryogenesis. Formation of embryo from the zygote. Formation of embryo from the zygote is called embryogenesis. So here embryos are formed. Now here after the formation of zygote, immediately we can't say it is an embryo. So embryo means nearly, in case of human beings, for example, in case of human beings, after third month of the fertilization, now it is called the embryo, not immediately after the fertilization or immediately after the zygote formation. So embryo, now in embryo almost all organs are completely formed, only development of embryo takes place. So it is different, already we discussed in oviparous, viviparous and ovoviviparous how embryo is developed inside the body or outside the body. Okay. So here cell differentiation means the cells are grouped according to their performance or their function. According to their function, the cell differentiation takes place. So these similar type of cells which perform same function, those grouped into one type of tissue, and like that tissues, organs and finally entire organism is formed by the process of cell differentiation. So after the cell differentiation, now the next process is embryogenesis. Here organs are formed and complete all organs are formed in the zygote due to the cell differentiation. Now it is called embryo. That process is called embryogenesis. Formation of embryo from the zygote is called embryogenesis. And during the embryogenesis process, the development of embryo takes place. That means embryo means already it is formed, the organs are formed organs, all the organ systems are formed in the body. So that development of that organs and development of the embryo takes place during embryogenesis. So that process is called embryogenesis. And how embryos are developed, either it is inside the body or outside the body. So it is already we discussed in ovoparous or oviparous, viviparous and ovoviviparous. Ovoviviparous. Oviparous eggs are released. In that eggs, embryo development takes place. Example, birds and reptiles. And viviparous, young ones are delivered after complete development of the embryo. The young ones are completely formed and delivered by the animal. Example, mammals. Oviviparous, eggs are formed inside the body and development of that egg is also takes place inside the body. After completing that embryo development, the eggs are released from the body. Ovoviviparous. Example, sharks, so especially rattlesnakes. Some type of snakes are ovoviviparous. So this is the embryogenesis process. And here one more thing we have to note that embryogenesis or embryo, it is a developing baby. Embryo is a developing baby, we can say that. Immediately after the formation of zygote, we can't say that it is an embryo, because embryo is called when all the organs are formed. If all the organs are formed in that, now we can say that embryo. But in zygote, it is a single cell, only cell divisions takes place. After cell differentiation, then the organs are going to be started. So that's why embryo, zygote, difference is there. So zygote is immediately after the fusion of gametes, zygote is formed. Embryo, after cell differentiation. So the point is very important to note that after fusion of gametes, that single celled stage is called zygote. Embryo, after cell differentiation, after the formation of organs, then it is called embryo. So there is a slight difference between zygote and embryo. So process of formation of embryo is called embryogenesis. So the next one important term here we have to be listen, that is parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis. It is a type of sexual, a mode of sexual reproduction. So here is the parthenogenesis means without fertilization. The organism is formed without fertilization. If the organism, either plant or animal, so in some cases, if that organism is formed without fertilization, that process is called parthenogenesis. So already we know that this term parthenogenesis, parthenogenic fruits are there, and artificially produced some parthenogenic fruits like apple or grapes, banana. And even in animals also there is a parthenogenic animals. Example, honeybees. In honeybees, we know that there are three types of bees are there. In honeycomb, there are three types of honeybees like worker bees, queen, and drone. So this drone is a male honeybee. So it is a male honeybee. and these are the females. And these worker bees also females. So here, how these worker bees and queen and drone are formed? Worker bees and queen, these are formed by the fertilization process in normal conditions. So here queen produces eggs and these eggs and drone releases sperms. So these sperms and eggs, if they are fertilized, then female honeybees are produced. So without some eggs do not fertilize, which do not fertilize, those eggs are developed into drone. So this is unfertilized, from unfertilized eggs. Say for example, if the queen bee produces 100 eggs, 100 eggs, out of these 100 eggs, if 90 eggs get fertilized, 90 eggs get fertilized with sperms. So these 90 eggs developed into female bees. Female bees. And remaining 10 eggs which do not fertilize, those 10 eggs develops into drones. So this parthenogenesis process takes place in the male honeybees, not female, because females are produced by the fertilization. And how these female bees are separated by worker bees and queen bees. Out of these 90 female bees, only one bee feed with royal jelly. So which fed by royal jelly? That bee is develops into queen and the remaining all bees are formed by worker bees. And this process is called parthenogenesis. In plants, the example for this is apple, banana, grapes, seedless grapes. So these are the examples for parthenogenesis. In animals, there is some other also the aphids, wasps, some insects, and even some fishes also there. Some fishes which are produced by the parthenogenesis process. It is a special type of mode of sexual reproduction. So by this, your first chapter, reproduction in organisms, has completed. So in that we have to remember that the main thing is one, differences between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, and then the sexual reproduction events, pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization events. So in the next class we will start with the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So just a brief discussion or just revision this chapter. First, important points in reproduction in organisms. A quick revision regarding reproduction in organisms. So here the first one is the differences between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction is a uniparental uniparental, and sexual reproduction is a biparental. Here gametes do not form. And here gametes are formed. Always gametes are produced. Gametes are formed. And here fertilization do not takes place. And here fertilization is the vital event, that is very important event in the sexual reproduction. So fertilization takes place. Young ones are genetically similar to the parents. So offspring are genetically similar. To the parents. And here offsprings are dissimilar, genetically dissimilar, or offspring genetically different from the parents. So here variations do not occur. Variations do not occur. And variations occur. Variations takes place. And rate of reproduction is very high. So there is high reproduction rate. And here reproduction rate is very less. Here large number of offspring are produced at a time, but less number of offspring are produced. Large number of offspring. And yet less number of offspring. So these are the main differences between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So uniparental and it is a biparental. Gametes do not form. So fission of gametes also do not takes place. So gametes are formed. So fertilization takes place. And offspring genetically similar to the parent. And here these offsprings are genetically different from the parents. So variations do not occur. And here variations occur through which the new species are going to be formed. There is a chance of evolution because of variations. And high reproductive rate, here reproductive rate is very less because it is a time taking process. And large number of offsprings are formed by the asexual reproduction, and here less number of offsprings are formed except in some, like in fishes or in amphibians, or in case of plants there is a large number of seeds are formed in case of plants, and fishes also large number of eggs are produced. So except that in remaining all organisms the less number of offsprings are formed. The next important here it is the sexual reproduction events. Like there are 3 events are there: pre-fertilization, then fertilization, and post fertilization. So here pre-fertilization, gametogenesis and gamete transfer. So these are the main important topics in the pre-fertilization events. One is gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Then fertilization, fusion of gametes. This fertilization event is a very important event in sexual reproduction. And post-fertilization events, again two types. One is zygote formation and embryogenesis. Embryogenesis. So these are the important topics in the reproduction in organisms. So in the next class, we will start with the next chapter, sexual reproduction in flowering plants.